Hello, I am back. Last video of the day. I don't want to get behind anymore. So I'm going to knock them out. So I'm going to 90 Day Fiance, the other way that came on yesterday, Monday. And they only did 4 couples, Ariella and Biniam, Sumit and Jenny, Devin and Jihoon, and Tim and Melissa. So I'm going to go to Ariella and Biniam first. So they meet Biniam's family, his 2 brothers, his sister, his nieces and nephews. It's like a whole, not a lot, let's say like 8 of them. And they went to a restaurant, and the mother was getting to know his family just to see who her daughter is going to be around. And they look really nice people. They speak the language and they're really friendly, and the mother's getting along with them. And the sister is like, yeah, we're really concerned because he met her and he met another American woman before. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And the mother, like, when she hears something, she digs in so hard with it, or she keeps it in the back of her memory, like, yeah, I'm going to use that when I try to convince her to go back home, because that's not a good thing to do. But then they tell them at the restaurant, the culture is when you greet another person at a restaurant, you have to feed them. And the mother is like, oh, okay. In her mind, it's still not registering. So they grab it's like butter, but it was like a wrap kind of. And they grab it and like put it in her mouth. And she's like it just took her off guard. She heard it, but she didn't see what was getting ready to happen. So they feed her. She eats. She said it was good. Move on. And then they go to see him dance at his show. And she's like, oh, he dances so late. And you're going to be home alone with the baby. And I'm like, lady, just stop. Your daughter is happy. Let her be happy and let her figure this out on her own. I get it's a risk. She knows it's a risk. She's good and grown and should have known the severe risk that it was going to be with her going to another country with no job, no money, and just hoping it's going to work itself out. And she know he works 3 and 4 jobs. That's her business. Let her do it. As moms, I'm guilty. You try to protect your kids from everything possible and not let them be hurt, get harmed, or learn. But we have to let them take and learn life lessons. Because the tighter you hold them, you suffocate them. And then when they get out and get exposed to something that is detrimental to their health or that hurts them, you kind of like say, is it my fault because I didn't tell them, or that I did not let them feel it earlier. So you just try your best and hope that you raise the right kid. And that's what Ariella's mom needs to do. And then they see him dancing with this girl, and this girl is like, really flexible. She's doing cartwheels, and Biniam is dancing with her. It's like fun. It's his job. Come to find out, the girl he's dancing with is his ex-girlfriend. And his mom is like, oh, she's really flexible. And she keeps looking at her. Oh, they have a great connection. And keeps looking at her. Oh, they have great Mama, all right. But anyway, Devin and Jihoon. So here goes the tsunami with them. So they're at the restaurant. The last episode, they were at the restaurant, and Devin and Jihoon got into it, and Jihoon just walked out. He was like, oh, F this, I'm out of here. And he left. And then Devin got pissed off and she left. And then the parents were sitting there like, what happened? And they just said, let's take care of the baby. Oh, excuse me. They left Drusilla with Devin's mother back at the hotel. And Taeyong was with them, because the parents want to see the baby, of course. And so Jihoon is outside and he's hitting himself in the head and he's freaking out and losing his mind. Devin is on the curb with her hands in her face in her hands, just like losing it. And she's just like, oh my gosh, I want to go home. And he comes over because he sees production with the camera just like staring at her. So he goes, I'm so sorry. And she's just like, why did you do this, basically, about this money? And he said, she said, you're selfish and you're a liar. And she goes, why were you not thinking about me and the baby when you were spending this money and not saving the money? And he said, she kept saying, why? And he said, because I was selfish and I was spending the money on myself. And because, y'all ready for this? And because it was a long distance relationship and I didn't take you seriously. Who says that? Like, y'all got pregnant and you didn't take her seriously? You thought she was going to do what? Like, he, anyway. So she got mad and she was like, F you, don't talk to me no more. I want to go home. And she just got up and walked to the side. And then he was like, I'm sorry. And this is just dumb. You can't, people. I'm a logical thinker and I think everything through. I think of every scenario that could happen, might happen, will happen, even though it may not happen before I do anything. Because you can then prepare yourself. She didn't prepare herself. She didn't. She prepared herself to have a good time with this Asian Korean man, have sex unprotected, get pregnant, have a baby, and not know him or his background. And this is what you stuck with. I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry. You already had a daughter with somebody who don't take care of her, so you keep making the same mistakes. Granted, he made the bigger mistake with not saving his money, and y'all got married and whatever. Married or not, you still didn't know this man. You didn't. Then she goes, well, give me the money you gave your mother, which was $3,000, and I don't know what that equates to in Korean money, dollars or whatever. And he goes back into the restaurant, tells mother, give me the money, give me the money. She's like, why? What's happening? What's going on? His mother is an enabler because she thinks Devin is wrong. She thinks Jihoon is right. And it is confusing to me that she just doesn't see the big picture. But as parents and moms, we just try to hold our baby boys and just let them never be wrong. Not me, though. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And that's what it is. There's no, my son is always right, my there's none of that. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And she's talking to the father in the confessional. She's telling him, be quiet, it's my turn to talk. Go over there somewhere. And the father puts his head down and walks away. I said, oh, okay. Then the next morning they show them in the hotel with the baby. And she's like, I'm going to give you another chance. And, we're going to try to work this out. But you have to put all of your money in our joint account. And he's like, my bank account. And she's like, no, our joint account. And she's talking to him in the slowest form of conversation there is. Junie, listen to me. Open your ears. You have to be serious with me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But, whatever. And then she said, I'm going to give you 1 more month. And if you don't prove to me in 1 month with the money that we have that you can do the right thing and work, I'm going back to America. Oh, excuse me. With the kids. This is time number 4 for her. So, you get what you get. Hopefully he does the right thing. If not, go back to America with 2 kids and get on assistance because you have no job and you have nothing. So, again, you did it to yourself. Then Tim and Melissa. Tim is over there. She's making him breakfast, and he has chorizo, sausage, eggs, and I think it was like some kind of toast she had with cheese or something on it. And he's just talking to her, and she's telling him, my mom knows everything. I told her everything, but I didn't tell my dad. And she's like, oh, Tim is upset, but you got to prove to his dad, to her mom, sorry. And she's like, I didn't tell my dad because you and my dad have a close relationship. And Tim is like, oh, okay. And the mom is not here for it. So they show the mom and the dad out to dinner, and they're talking, and the mom is just like, basically like, what? She don't want to be there. She's mad that he's there. She's saying, what you going to do to prove yourself? And the father's like, what's happening? They tell the father. The father gets pissed. What I am impressed with is that Tim speaks Spanish pretty well in comparison to a lot of the other couples whose significant other didn't speak a piece of the language. Then we go to Submit and Jenny, and they go to a restaurant, and Submit's brother's name is Amit. They look like twins. They do. They didn't say they were, they didn't give ages, but they look alike. And it's awkward in the restaurant. And Jenny's like, don't you want your brother to be happy? Or can you convince your parents to let us get married once his divorce is final? And he's like, it's not me, it's my parents and society. And basically, in the Indian culture, it's about what everybody else thinks. It's about perception, and perception is their reality, unfortunately. And they're just trying to have conversation at the restaurant. It's not going well because Jenny is just, oh, look at these cups. Oh, have you eaten here before? You know, but we're going to see. And at the end of the conversation, Amit, Smith's brother, says, you should go talk to my parents, which I don't think is going to end well, but let's see if they go. So we'll see what happens next week and see if they bring the other couples back to see what's going on, because I want to see what's happening with Armando and Kenny and what's the girl's name? Yazan and Brittany, because they didn't show them. So we shall see, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Like and subscribe.